Good afternoon. Welcome to our live stream. I'm Jen from English with Jen. As you can see, floating down here on the screen every Wednesday, I go live at this time and offer you a conversation lesson. Well, it's kind of more like a lesson where it helps for you to be able to converse in English better. We learn idioms, phrasal verbs, we have different conversation topics, polls, and today's topic happens to be expressing opinions, which is an important topic, of course. We all want to be understood and we want to understand people and we want to be able to express that in a way that is kind and reflecting a good nature. Hey, Alessio, welcome on board, and several others. So if you don't follow my account and you're looking for a place to have regular weekly lessons every week, a new topic, please do subscribe. Actually, I'm going to try out a new thing they have here. I think this was it. What does that say? Da-da-da, like and subscribe. That's the last musical moment we will have today. I want you to hang out with me and to not run away. So wait, how do I hide this thing? Okay, wait, no, delete it. Okay, gone. Yikes. So hey, Yuki, sweetie, welcome on board. So I will hop into our first question for today. We have a nice little poll question. And for those of you who have done homework and I have not corrected it, big apologies, big apologies. I was in London over the weekend and visiting family that I've not seen in forever. They happen to also be there. Hello, Anu. Hello, Lorena. Welcome, everyone. Have you back as well. So hello to everybody. Exactly. Okay, so here's our first poll question of the day. I'm going to scoop myself over to here and ta-da. So here we go. So getting warmed up, our topic today is opinions. So do you prefer to share? Hi, Karina, sweetie. Everyone's sweet with each other. You just came home from vacation last night. Nice, Yuki. Happy to hear that. Glad you got away. Do you prefer to share your opinions in A, one-on-one conversations, or B, in small groups, or C, online? Or D, I don't like sharing my opinions. Maybe it kind of creeps you out. You feel weird about it. You come from a culture that doesn't do that normally. We talked a lot about that yesterday in my live stream, that sometimes culturally it's totally okay to share your opinion and sometimes it's not. Yeah, Yuki, where did you go? So let's see. So what do you feel like? What can you tell me? One-on-one, maybe it's a mixture. Maybe it depends on the situation. Hey, Michaela, we have everybody. We have our regulars, missing Renit, missing Sri, missing a couple of others, sometimes Carmen, and sometimes, we'll see. So, all right. So what do you like? Okay, Anu, my dear, you're saying already you've got an answer for us. D, I don't like sharing my opinion. Anu, is that a cultural thing or is that a personal thing? Sometimes, like, I live in Germany and everyone shares their opinion about everything. Actually, that's not really true. I feel like in Germany, it is easier to share negative opinions than it is to share positive opinions. So yeah, hey Kaluna, you were one of the ones that was missing, sweetie. I prefer small groups and I share if it's necessary. Okay, so Moen's saying one-on-one conversations. Yeah, don't make it like a group thing. Yeah, I get it. Okay. For me, A, one-on-one. I feel like really in Germany, if you have something negative to say, people will share that opinion with you, even if you are a stranger, but like positive opinions, it's weird. Like if I see someone at the grocery store and I like their shoes in the States, oh, I love your shoes. Yeah, like no problem. Spread that joy, share your opinion. But in Germany, hey, Carmen, thank you. Right. Thank you for backing me up, darling. Glad you're here. You were one of the ones that were missing. So you're so right about that. I always share positive opinions and people are confused about it. Yeah, they look at you like you're trying to sell them some sort of culty religion type of thing. I don't get it. I still do it because I don't care. And I try to play like the foreigner card. I think I can get away with more here. But in Germany, if you want to share your opinion and it's negative, no problem. If it's positive, I don't know, unless you're a foreigner. It's strange like that, but it is that way. Okay. So anybody else want to share about how they like to share opinions? Otherwise, we will move on to a list of idioms and phrasal verbs. I personally tend to express my opinion positive or negative, no matter who's listening. Okay, so Yuki says B, so small groups, or it depends. Sometimes online with your channel. Okay, yeah. And I think also like online, some people feel like they can, troll people. If you don't know that word, I will pop it up. It's a very good social media word to know. If you troll someone, this is when people say negative things that they would never ever say face to face or in person, but they do it online. That's when you troll someone. So sometimes people feel more comfortable expressing negative thoughts online than they would positive in person. So yeah, we don't need that word. No trolling here. So, okay, it seems I have a creepy connection today. Sorry about that. Let me remove this and I will grab our next slide for today. I have a mix like I did yesterday of idioms and phrasal verbs together. Hello to you. I'm not quite sure what your name is. Maybe you can let me know. Not quite sure. And I would like to be able to address you properly. So yeah, let's see what we've got here. Okay, so we have some idioms, we have some phrasal verbs. So our first one is on the fence about like something, to be on the fence about something. Number 2 is to play devil's advocate. To play devil's advocate. Number 3, to speak up. Number 4, tone down. I'll read the definitions and then I'll come back to your comments. I love it when you all have things to express. If you are watching the replay and you have ideas and things that you want to express, please do write them in the comments. Again, my apologies to everyone who took part in our homework assignment or wrote me a comment. I have not been able to get to it. I tried to do it right before my flight to London, started on Instagram and wasn't able to make it. Okay, let's see, hold on, I'll get to reading. Sorry. A, to express your opinion carefully. B, to soften or I'm gonna read it here. This is way too small for me. To soften or make something less strong, to be undecided or neutral about something, or D, to argue the opposite side for the sake of discussion. So on the fence about something, Alessio is saying C. Carmen says, I'm a gamer, I'm gaming. Trolling refers deliberately to disruptive or annoying behavior intended to provoke negative reaction. Exactly, right? So you can troll someone online where you say negative things. And usually these people, 9 out of 10 times, let's say 9.99999 times out of 10, no one would ever say that to someone's face. Kaluna, when sharing negative thoughts, we should do it responsibly, be sensitive to others' feelings. 100% agree. Alessio is saying 1 is C, and Alessio is correct. So to be on the fence about something is to be undecided or neutral about something. Yeah, exactly, Kaluna. I want to say we had this idiom recently, and I really like it because I find in life sometimes, we don't have black and white thoughts. I feel like many situations in life, it's not really black and white. There's kind of shades of gray. I see it sometimes so, and you can be on the fence about it. Not quite sure what to think. So Alessio, my dear, is saying 2 is D. Who else is going with 2 is D? Yuki's going with 2 is D. I feel like a salesman here. Can you give me another one? So what can you tell me? What anybody else want to say that 2 is D? Kaluna saying 2 is D. Okay. To play devil's advocate. And I love this expression. To play devil's advocate is D. To argue the opposite side for the sake of discussion. So I love doing this, and I love doing it myself, and I love it when people do this with things that I say, because I think it really encourages healthy conversation. It helps you to grow your thoughts. When you play devil's advocate, many people don't like it because it's like, just listen to me. Don't offer other opinions. I don't want to hear the opposite side, but I love hearing the opposite side. And you can say, I want to play devil's advocate here for a moment, and you say something else. So Kaluna is going with 3 is A. Lorena is saying 3 is A. To speak up. 3 is A. Of course it is. To express your opinion clearly. Speak up. Say what you want. It's okay. This is a safe environment, right? So speak up. And last but not least, number 4, exactly, 3 is A. Number 4, last but not least, is tone down. And that is B, to soften or make something less strong. So if I am speaking to someone who is older, or if a person of respect, not a peer, not someone who's part of my circle of friends, let's say, hey, Hitoko, sweetie, then I will tone down it. Also, Dimitri, welcome, dear. So I will tone down my language. I might not let an F-bomb drop. I might kind of be more respectful if I don't know who the person is, or it's respect kind of thing, a situation, then I will tone down my language. I can tone it down to soften it, or kind of also to sort of, to tone it down. All right, so let's see. Moving on, let's go to another poll question. And let me find that. And our poll question is going to be about a heated conversation. So what kind of conversation do you think is a heated conversation? What do you think that means? I have to look past my magnifying glass. So a heated conversation is not like a calm conversation. It's one that's got more aggression in it. There's a more heat. I feel like there's heat in the conversation. So what do you usually do in a heated conversation? Do you usually speak up more, speak up louder? The loudest one gets their point across. B, try to calm things down. C, avoid conflict. You just okay, that's kind of like you just try to go about it, maybe, in a way. The tension is high. Super wording. Yeah, absolutely. You can feel it. And D, to stay silent and listen. So you can try to avoid the conflict, maybe change the subject. All right, Carmen's kind of saying like B, C, and D. Okay, all of those. I would like to say I never do A, but unfortunately, every once in a while, a little A will slip in. I'm learning to calm things down. Okay, so at least, Alessio, I guess you have that too sometimes, where you just got to get your point across somehow. Demetrius says D, stay silent and listen. Kaluna is C and D, to avoid conflict and stay silent and listen. Yeah, for me, A is rare. But yeah. Anyway, it depends on the conversation. Rarely do I stay silent and listen. All right, Michaela. So let's see. So B, to try to calm things down. Okay, to play the peacemaker. All right, sounds good. Moving us on over to here, and I have a first banner question of the day. Here it is. What are some parenting related topics that people often have strong opinions about? So let's give ourselves like 3 minutes to take a look at some topics that we think might be things that people get kind of aggressive about. What can you think about? What are some topics that are sort of, yeah, people have strong opinions. They either love it or they hate it. I will start this is all about parenting. There are strong opinions about whether your children should sleep in bed with you or not. That's a strong opinion. Another strong parenting opinion is whether children should be breastfed or bottle fed. These are things you can have strong opinions about when it comes to raising children. So what can you tell me? Any other things that you can add that people have strong opinions about when it comes to raising children? I'm trying to think of some other ones. I don't want to give you some of the ones that we're going to talk about. I would say sometimes, I think in some cultures, you have specific names that you say. So parenting, like for example, sometimes in Germany, people really are not strict about saying uncle or aunt to family members. Where I come from in the States, I would never address my uncle or my aunt by their first name. It would always be uncle or aunt and then their name. So you can have strong opinions about that. There are lots of things that we can have strong opinions about, maybe screen time or when a child gets their cell phone. That can be a topic that is sort of where people have strong opinions. Yes. Awfully quiet. So let's see. When hitting or hurting a child is part of discipline, this is a big issue to debate. Right, yes. So some cultures, some parents believe a little is a way of stopping a child from acting out, and others think never ever do that. So if a child has to do sports, yes. So if they have to participate in sports or not. That can be a strong argument. Lifestyle decisions such as vacations or raising vegan or vegetarian kids, vegan or vegetarian, super, exactly. So these are some issues that we have when it comes, oh, sorry, Yuki, I missed yours. Being polite and quiet in public spaces, definitely. And I think that's also one of those cultural ones. In Germany, it's usually kids are quieter. When we go to other places like in Spain, then that's something where kids are just all over the place, and that's just part of the culture to have kids mixed in, and they can be loud. It's totally fine. Kalina, good one, right? Curfew time. I'm going to put your word up here, your comment here, because oops, okay, that's up. And yeah, so curfew time, when kids have to be home, especially as teens, is it 10 p.m.? Is it 12 p.m.? Is it when the sun goes down? Friends whom your child associate with, absolutely, another good one. Yeah, okay, super. So let's see, I'm gonna move on to another slide for us because we have a little activity where it comes to expressing opinions about different things. And I want to get your opinion about these things. So let me find our slide, remove this one, and find a couple of little things that fortunately we've not mentioned yet. And I would like to hear what you have to say. I have to find this. I think it's this one. Yes. And I need to move over to the other side. Move over to here. Okay, I think yes, that's a little better. Okay, so let's start with homeschooling. So let's try to voice our opinions or express our opinions in a way that is constructive and meaningful on homeschooling. All right. In Germany, it's illegal. In the States, a lot of people homeschool their kids. Gaming time and using smartphone, absolutely, Yuki, for sure. So what is your opinion on homeschooling? What do you think? And so we have an opportunity now, parenting related topics, to kind of discuss some topics that are kind of, people have strong opinions about this. They either think it's great or they think that it's not so great for the kids. I have to say, I would have been the worst teacher for my kids. There's no way on earth I would not have had the patience No way. Studying for test was hard enough. My kids call me a tiger mom, and they're not wrong, because I really was like, okay, we're doing this today, we're doing that today. My son loved it. Little weirdo, but he loved it. My daughter, I don't know. She's never said anything. And so let's see. But I know that I would not have been a good homeschooling teacher. I can understand that some people really see value in homeschooling because you have control over what your children learn and the way they learn it. I don't really think that the modern public school system is that great, neither in Germany nor in the United States. I don't have experience in other countries. I think if I were to put together a schooling program, it would be far more relatable. It would be far more integrated. Like if you're learning about history, you can learn about music from that time. You can learn about sociology from that time. You can understand sort of math things that were going on and science things. So I tried to make it so everything was kind of incorporated, because I feel like school teaches things in a way that you don't see a connection. You have to put that connection together yourself when you learned a lot more. And I find that a big design flaw to say. Okay, Alessio, I wouldn't have the patience and the skill and the knowledge to teach. Yeah, that too. I mean, after like third grade math, I'm out. That's it. So that's not happening. So Kaluna, for me, homeschooling is great for children's safety, especially from cruel environments such as bullying. But in my opinion, homeschooling will lessen your child's social abilities. Yeah, I think so too. I taught art to children who were homeschooled. And so the homeschooling community, I think they stick together and they do events where they can get together with other kids their age. But I wonder if it's enough time really. And sometimes it's good when you go to school with people who have a totally different opinion about things than you do, because then you can you learn from that. You learn tolerance, I think. No way mothers can have free time when kids are in school. It's true too. Yuki, in Japan, kids had rights to go to elementary school and junior high school, and parents. Homeschooling is based. Yeah, same in Germany. It's illegal to homeschool your children. You do not have that as an option here. In my opinion, homeschooling is a good thing if you're traveling. Yeah. In other cases, I am for traditional school. Yeah, if I would have had the opportunity to take my kids with me around the world and to somehow have them in a schooling program, that would be very cool. I bet there are sort of private schools nowadays that do that. I wonder, I bet there is. That seems like the best of both worlds. I think it is necessary for children to learn how to socialize with kids at their own age. Super, guys. Okay, expressed opinions in a wonderful way. Let's move on to the next one, which is participation trophies. So a trophy is something that you win, like if you won Wimbledon, if you win Wimbledon. I have no idea how I did that. It was like the greatest timing ever. So let's say that you win Wimbledon at the Our internet connection's really bad today. Sorry about that. But you win Wimbledon, and then you receive this big trophy, this big metal cup, golden cup, silver cup, something of that nature. And in the States, we have this a lot. And I think it's coming to Europe more and more. I don't know. You can tell me if it's in your country as well, where no matter if the kids win or lose, they all get a participation trophy. So like, you did something, you participated, yay, good for you. What is your opinion on this? And I hope I explained that correctly. The fire trucks, you won Wimbledon, right? And then the fireworks, exactly. Whenever I want these things to happen, Carmen, they don't. But that was kind of perfect timing on this one. So let's see. Okay, in my opinion, homeschooling is a good thing. Traveling, that was that. Okay, Michaela, schools have become one of of the few remaining places where face-to-face interaction is naturally built in. That's a really valid point. That's a very good point. It's hard nowadays. And in Germany, I think that they're incorporating now into the school system where children are not allowed to have their cell phones. So it could be one of the only places where children are also not online. So that's another argument for schooling. What is your idea or your thoughts on participation trophies where kids get told they're amazing and great and the best because they showed up? Do you think this is a good thing? Do you think this is a bad thing? In my day and age, when I was growing up in the 70s and in the 80s, there was no such thing. There was first, second, and third place. Everybody else was a loser. You knew that. So I don't know. I like participation trophies. Kids are so motivated when they get them. Okay. Participation trophies are good for all the children, but the gold one is for the winner. Okay. Participation trophies is a good way to motivate and validate children's achievements. Okay. So I'm going to play devil's advocate here, an idiom we just learned, and go the other route, the gold one I know, Karina, you keep saying dinner, but it's a typo. It's fine. I gotcha. Not for dinner. For winter. Yeah, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. And I personally think, like, because my son, they would do this dictation in school, okay? And so that's when the teacher, you got it. So the teacher would read something and the children had to write in a book. And they were not allowed to give grades. They couldn't say it was an A or an F, anything in between, or a 1 or a 6, as they use in the German system. But she could give 1 star, 2 stars, or 3 stars. And everybody knew what that meant. So it was kind of like, just give the grade. I felt like it was kind of, I don't know. I think I can understand the intention behind participation trophies, but I think at the end of the day, you lost. So maybe it's something different than a participation trophy. Maybe you get, I don't know, 1 homework assignment less because you showed up and you did something. I think that would feel somehow more like realistic, I think. I don't know. Just a thought, just playing devil's advocate here. Yeah. Which is good, I think, from time to time to just think about it. I know participation trophies come from a good place. I'm just not sure. I'm not so sure my little Gen X heart understands it. Maybe I'm too old. All right, moving on to disagreeing softly. So I have a slide for us to share with you. Let's see, let me find it really quickly. And so that we can have ways of disagreeing. So now you can disagree with me in a kind manner. And if you have any other ones that you would like to add, please, please, please feel free to do so. The more, the merrier. And I think I need to scoop myself a little bit more. That way, let's see. And yes. All right. So when we want to disagree with someone in a soft way, let's see where you're coming from. But that's an interesting point. However, while I understand your perspective, I don't think I agree. I'm afraid I just don't agree. Okay, and I probably would throw in a little filler word like a just that kind of softens it even more with I'm afraid I don't agree with you. I'm afraid I just don't agree with you. It makes it even a little bit softer somehow. If you have any other phrases that you would like to add to this, please feel free to do so. And yeah, those are some soft ways of being able to disagree. I can give you some examples with sentences. I see where you're coming from, but I think there are other options. There might be other options. There might be another way. That's an interesting point. However, I have a slightly different view. So that's another way of saying sort of like maybe we don't see eye to eye on this. I remember when I was at elementary school, I did my homework well. My teacher gave me a sticker. I was so happy, right? I think we're more so merit based rewarding. Let me write that down. That's a lot of words. Um, merit, merit. So merit is like when you deserve something, you have earned something. There's something honor in it. Merit based rewarding. Oops, my elbow just clicked over here. So for me, I feel more like things should be merit-based rewarding. I don't know. Other ideas here with sentences, just to give you an idea. While I understand your perspective, I'm not completely convinced. I don't know if I 100% agree. Another soft way is, I'm afraid I don't agree. Grammar drills can be useful. I am not sure about that. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not so sure about that. And again, here's another place where I would actually add a filler word. I'm not so sure about that. I'm not sure about that totally. I'm not so sure about that is also a way of saying that. Can make it slightly softer. All right, moving on to some vocabulary words. And let's see, I'm curious to see how many of these are new as always. And it's always a great way for you to practice your vocab, to remember things by letting me know which ones, because you're writing them, and that's another way of making it stick in your head a little better. And let's see. All right, so we have number 1, debate. Number 2, advocate. Number 3, oppose. 4, divisive, excuse me. That's the best I can do. Oh, the best I can do is 4. The best that I can do. So you only know 4, I think. Number 4, divisive, and number 5, perspective. While I respect your opinion, Alessio, you can tell you've lived in the corporate world. While I respect your opinion, ... I can just say, I see an interesting. Okay, so in this case, that you can say, that's an interesting opinion. Exactly. I heard agree to disagree. Yeah, that's a great. Let's just agree to disagree. That's a great one. I'm going to plop that one up here for us, or pop that one up. Boop, there it is. Let's just agree to disagree. Maybe if you have, or you've said your opinion, they have said their opinion, and you don't see eye to eye on a situation, then let's just agree to disagree. That's a great way of saying that for sure. And our definitions: to support or recommend a view or action, to participate, a particular way of seeing or thinking about something. C, to discuss opposing views on a topic. D, a topic or question that splits opinions or causes disagreement. E, to disagree strongly or to try to stop an action. 4, I'm afraid I don't agree. Okay, hold on, let me see number 4. I'm afraid I don't agree. Okay, that was a nice one. I'm afraid I don't agree. Yes? Okay, you were explaining that. Thank you, Michaela. Okay, so Alessio is saying 1 is C. Kaluna is saying 1 is C. Have I got another C for number 1? What can you tell me? Here we go. 1 is C. Is it C or B? Or D? So it's definitely not E, because we don't have an E. Oh, we do have an E. What am I talking about? It could be E. All right, so 1 is C. That is true. 1, to debate is C. So to debate, C, to discuss opposing views on a topic. You debate it. You go back and forth and share your opinions. Number 2, advocate. What is number 2, advocate? 2 is A from Kaluna. Kaluna's going with A. Does everybody agree with Kaluna, or have we got something different? Alessia's going with A. All right. Let's see. 2A Okay, so two is A. Yep, Michaela, you're right. Exactly. So an advocate, A, is a person who supports or recommends a view or action. You can advocate for something. I really support this. I support you joining my lessons every week. I advocate for my lessons. I think you will learn a lot of English. So a person who supports something. You can be an advocate. Advocate. Sorry, better said. Advocate. Number three, oppose. What have we got for number three? One is C, two is A, three is, thank you, Kaluna, E. Okay, to oppose. So, anybody agreeing with Kaluna? I'm going to say yes. Yes, Lorena's saying yes, three is E. Okay, so to oppose something, Michaela as well, is E, to disagree strongly or try to stop an action. And for my friends with Latin-based languages, I can imagine a lot of these are also similar to words in your language. So these are probably pretty easy for you. And then number four, divisive. What is something that is divisive? Excuse me. Divisive. One was C, two is A, three is A. Sorry, three is E, and four is Kaluna saying D, Lorena saying D. Anybody else have one for me? So Michaela, D, exactly. So divisive. D, a topic that splits opinions or causes disagreement. And nowadays we have so many divisive topics. So new vocabulary. Okay, Yuki, yeah, I can imagine a lot of these words are new. These, I would imagine my Latin-based language friends, I think they're probably in your language. I think we stole these from you. So new vocabulary. Okay, good. But these are really great words. Of course, Yuki, I will post these slides later on this week. So if you want to review them, feel free to do so. And yeah. So topics that really, and think an easy way to remember, Yuki, divisive is think of the word divide, to separate. And topics that separate people, that divide people, they are divisive. And number five, perspective. Perspective. We can try to see something from a new perspective. And five, of course, sorry, is B, a particular way of seeing or thinking about something. So your perspective, what's your perspective on this? How do you see this? Tell me your perspective. Aha, yes, that's a nice little bridge for divisive. And oppose, opposition, to be opposite something. That's a nice little way of remembering that word. Opposite. To oppose, you have a different opinion. Yes, and perspective, think of I don't know, I'm making things up now. But perspective, the way you see the world. I love hearing about your perspectives. This is what I enjoy so much about our lessons, is that everyone comes from has a different perspective, and you are not shy about sharing your perspectives. Perception is the way you see something, right? And perspective is more your view. Okay, now that gets complicated. I just put myself into a little trap here. Okay, hold on. Perspective is the way I see the world. Perception is how I see the world. Let me ask the bot, because I'm going to start giving you Jenniferish. These are one of these things that like come up and you don't really think about until you're presented it. Perspective. Maybe somebody has a better way of explaining it. Verse perception. Perspective and point of view are the same. Exactly. The way you see something is a point of view. A perception. Let's see. Let's see what the bot has to say. We need a little help here. So perspective refers to point of view, like Michaela beautifully wrote. Perception, exactly, is how you see something. So more, is your perspective is your point of view, and perception is how you see things, how you see the world. And let's see if I can find a simple example. Perception is like your brain's filter for understanding what is happening. So it's kind of like the how of everything. And perspective is the lens you choose to see the world. They're very similar. So we're not going to go crazy about this. But when I talk about the way that I see the world, I often talk about my perspective. And perception is how you see the world. All right, we're moving on. Let's see. So I have another little brainstorming activity for us. Let me remove this and move me so and add a brainstorming activity. Because, sometimes people just say things, right? They don't really think about what they're saying. And so somebody tells you something or you say something to someone and maybe they don't have strong EQ, their emotional antennae are dead. So somebody says to you, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Okay. So maybe these people should say something different. Let's try to be polite for them and help them out. It is confusing, my dear. Perspective. Yes. Perspective. What is the image of What is the image of per? I'm not sure what that means. Sorry, Yuki, please help. I'm not sure. But if you're talking about how you see things or like the way you see something, the way you think, what you think, use perspective. And perception is how the world sees something. That's their perception. That's how they see things. So when you're talking about how, use perception. And when you're talking about your own views, perspective. That's my perspective. If you want to say about the way you see things. So somebody says something and you're thinking, let's do this. Let's say somebody tells you something and let's be honest, we're maybe not Mary Poppins inside our heads. And you're thinking to yourself, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That might not be the most polite thing to say in English. So maybe don't say that. What are some things that you can say instead? Carmen, what have you got to say? I am a DVD player. We got perception checks. Oh, a D&D, sorry, Dungeons and Dragons, sorry. Perception checks are just used to spot, hear, or otherwise detect things that might not immediately be obvious. Maybe that helps. Yeah, maybe, I hope. I think it doesn't make sense. Okay, you know what? Let's see. Let me look for better. So perception, let's go through this. Perception refers to how you interpret sensory information. Okay, that's a little bit better too. So more like the way you see things, the way you feel things, the way that you hear things is more about your perception, often more subconscious. You're not really conscious of what you are hearing. And ties to senses and cognition. So it's more about your senses, my perception of something, a feeling, a perceived feeling. Carmen, perception maybe with the use of our senses. Exactly. I didn't get your point. All right. So let's see. So perception, I'm going to pull it. Let me get rid of this real quick. Hold on. Let me move this. And these things pop up, right? It's not like and I love it when they do because I learned something as well. So perception. So we can learn together. All right. So perception deals mainly with senses, how you sense something, your perception of something. His perception, this is a sentence using it, his perception was that she was annoyed. So he sensed it, right? He sensed that she was annoyed. So his perception of the situation was that it was dangerous. He sensed it. So it's another way of sort of saying sensed. And perspective refers to your point of view shaped by experiences and background. So it's more factual. Perception is more sense. It's less scientific. It's more about feeling. And using perspective is more fact-based. It's how you understand something or how you see something based on what you know. I hope that helps. I think that's pretty good. Perception is more like, ooh, I feel this. And perspective is more, I know this. I understand this because I have experienced this. Perspective, fact-based, perception, sense-based. All right. I hope that helps. So let's see. But we'll move back on to our other point here with disagreeing in a soft way. And so you're thinking this, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Somebody says to you, probably what I just said. And so you think this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And, but you don't want to say that, right? Because that's just not a nice way of expressing an opinion. So what are some softer ways that you can say this? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And I have a nice slide for us that I can share. I will pull up for us and we will continue on. I have to say that is new for me. Okay, good. So what about in Italian? Because probably you have perception, and I would imagine you have perspective. How do you use it in Italian? Just out of curiosity. Maybe I'll say, I think that doesn't make sense. Okay, all right, okay. Oh, I think that's what you meant. Maybe I've found that perception, internal interpretation of reality, perspective, worldwide view or mindset, point of view, specific opinion or stance. I think that's a very good clarification. Perception is feeling, like feelings, how you feel a situation. It's your internal sort of feeling of something, whereas perspective is more fact-based. So that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. We cannot say that. That's extraordinarily rude. What can we say in English? Kaluna is saying, I think it doesn't make sense. I think what you're saying, or maybe I don't really understand. Could you explain it again? Maybe you can ask the person to explain it again if it sounds like something that's just like, maybe we misunderstood, right? It gives the person the benefit of the doubt. So let's see. I'm going to write that down because this is the benefit of doubt, meaning that maybe we messed it up. The benefit of doubt. I didn't get your point. It doesn't make sense. Those one answer to the brain. That's one answer. Those are the answers to the brainstorm. Okay. I think I misunderstood y'all and thought that y'all didn't understand perspective and perception, but I'm back on track now, folks. It's good. And I'm going to share with you a slide that gives you a couple of other options when somebody says really something that's just like, really? Are you serious? Hold on, let me find it really quickly. Number 7. Here we go. And I will move myself over to here. And yes, so that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Polite, oh, wait, no, sorry. That's not what I wanted to say. I think I might have messed something up. Okay, so that is not correct. Let me move. I think I might have actually messed something up here. We're going to have to check for 1 second. Otherwise, I will just read to you what I've got. I wish I could see this. Yep, that's not it. All right, so I don't know what I've done. So I will give you some options of other things you can say. You could say something like, oh, that's an interesting point of view, or that's an unusual point of view. I've never thought about it that way. So this reminds me a little bit, Yuki was saying yesterday that when she tries food that other people have cooked, she doesn't really comment so much on it, whether like positive or negative, she just comments on it if she doesn't like it. And this kind of goes in that direction, I find. It's a very diplomatic way. I've never thought about it like that. So it's not like you're saying that you think that they're right or think that they're wrong, but you're leaving it sort of open. That's an interesting take. I see it a bit differently. I think I see it a little bit differently. I think this approach might not work in every situation. So instead of saying, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen, maybe that wouldn't work in every situation. Another way of saying this is, that's a really uncommon opinion. I'd love to understand the reasoning behind it. Again, kind of giving someone the benefit of doubt that that they are not a moron. I don't think it's possible. That could be a little bit strong. Like, I'm not so sure. Yeah, that's possible. I don't think it's possible. I would say, is that so? Yuki, I think you are our resident diplomat. Okay. That's interesting. Is that so? Love it. And then change the topic. Exactly. All right. Another one, another way, the last one. That's the one. That's one way to see it. Though I might not agree. So these are ways that you can answer when somebody says something so blindingly dumb that you need that you have to react, but you don't want to tell them that they're a moron. So these are some polite ways of doing that. I have another slide for us because sometimes we somewhat agree with someone and then not really, not totally, let's say, not completely. So this is a slide that will hopefully offer this to us. And if you have any other ones that you would want to add, when you somewhat agree with someone, there are parts that you agree with and parts that you don't agree with. So then, maybe you can tell me what you would say with that. Let's hope that I didn't mess this one up. And no, it looks good. It looks like we're in business. All right. So things that we can say that kind of make it so that we partially agree with someone is, that's true. Okay. However, or I agree to a point, but you make a good point, you make a good argument. You could also say, yet, I can see that though, or you could say, you can even state the part that you agree with. I understand A, but there's also the second part that I'm not so sure about. Yeah, so these are ways that you can agree with someone's opinion partially. So you somewhat agree with them, maybe not 100%. Those are some things that you can do, that you can say. So if you have anything else that you would like, or if you would like me to put any of these in a sentence, no problem. I have sentences lined up for us. Otherwise, we would move to our next brainstorming point. And yeah, and I will share these slides on Instagram, maybe here on YouTube. Let me know when you see them, like which ones kind of stick out to you. All right, so I think people are moving on. so will I. All right, removing this one, adding our next banner, heading on to the next point, and that is totally fine. Let's see. So, all right, so we have another little brainstorming activity. And we have this here. So what are some entertainment related topics that people often have strong opinions about? So we talked about parenting topics that people have strong opinions about. So anything entertainment related that you can think about where people might have strong that people might have strong opinions about. We're in the same boat, however, okay, and Kaluna with this one, this means we're in the same boat, you're in the same situation. If you want to say, which might be, depends on what the situation is, like if somebody says to you, me, I'm broke, I can say, we're in the same boat. However, I am fortunate that my partner is supporting me, right? So if there's a situation where you can say that you can agree or you can understand and relate to a person, but I don't know if you want to say that you're in the same situation or that you agree with them. So in this case, a nice little idiom that you could use there would be, we're on the same page about doop. However, I see dip like this. So if you're on the same page, you agree to something, but then the however would show that you don't Agree. So political views or topics, definitely soccer. Hey, Mohammed, welcome. Or entertainment related topics that people have strong opinions about, definitely soccer, right? Definitely. Which teams are considered amazing, which ones are considered not so good. I would say also lots of things about celebrities. Like people have strong opinions about celebrities, who's a good celebrity, who's a bad celebrity, how important celebrities should be, especially like reality stars and stuff like that. You're welcome, dear. So good. Then that helped. A good Kaluna. Right. So, any other ideas, entertainment related topics that you feel like people have strong views? Otherwise, I will share with you our little activity here where we can lifestyle, definitely. So some people think that it's perfectly fine, entertainment related. Let's say that someone makes a ton of money and they have, oh, Meghan Markle. Definitely strong opinions about her. Carmen, are you team Meghan or not? Team everyone else, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what other team that is. TV debates, definitely. Yeah, TV debates. And so while you're answering, I will pull up our slide, and so that we have a couple of topics that we can talk about, where you can share your opinions about what you think about these things. So we need number 9, and I need to move over to here. And let's see if that's going to be fine. Perfect. Okay. So entertainment related topics, reality TV. Let's start with reality TV. What is your opinion about reality TV? So love it, hate it, voice it in expressing your opinions. Maybe it's kind of a mix. Maybe there's a partial feeling to it. Like there's part of you that feels like it's interesting. It's there for entertainment. It helps you escape real world problems. And maybe B, that's part of why we have problems in the world. I don't know. So interested in your take on reality TV. If you're into reality TV, then you can let me know also which shows you like to watch. I would love to hear that as well. I think when reality TV first came out, it was so shocking, and it was kind of amazing. I really loved reality TV in the beginning. Soap operas, exactly. Okay. So, but then I quickly just was like, ugh, I can't do this anymore. My daughter, she's a big Kardashian fan. I think that she's watched all the seasons twice or something. I can't. In the beginning, I watched it, but then at some point, it became too much. And I felt like it was kind of, I get shaped easily. So I'm very selective about what I ingest into my brain, because I can mold and change. And so I'm very, very selective about what goes in this whole thing here. And I didn't like that so much for myself. Do you like reality TV? It's something you can relate to. Do you share your opinions about it? Or the other one, I love Survivor. Okay. And the other option that we have, if you would like to share your opinions on dubbed versus subtitled foreign films. So dubbed is when they speak. I'm right? I'm speaking, and instead of English coming out of my mouth, you would hear German, or you would hear Italian, or you would hear whatever, Spanish. And subtitles was when you hear the original language and you see the text at the bottom of the screen. That's when you have subtitles. So let me know what you think about both of these subjects. I would love to hear your opinions, and we can move on. I used to be very good. Like I used to only watch foreign films with subtitles because I liked hearing the sound of the original voices and the way the words were shaped. Dubbed ones are horrible. Yeah. And Hitoka, why do you say horrible? What do you not like about dubbed? I think dubbed it's easy. It's easy, but you lose a lot of the humor in a way. But I guess subtitles, you do that as well, somehow, to a certain extent. Yeah. Maybe they dumb it down a little bit, the humor or the different words and things when it's subtitled, dubbed. I think in learning a language, you can see it in Europe because in the Scandinavian countries, they only have subtitled foreign films. So the level of English in the Netherlands, not Scandinavian, but the Netherlands, Scandinavian countries is much, much better than it is here, for example, in Germany, because when people listen to the original version and then they start learning English, then they learn the idioms, they learn the phrasal verbs, they learn things in a more organic way. But it is, dubbed is easy. Subtitles, it takes some time, but I used to only watch films in subtitles and I loved it. But I've lived in Germany for so long, hello, Juan Carlos, that I have become lazy. So I am untrained at reading so fast. I like to watch films in original language with subtitles. Yes, I used to. I need to get back to it. I need to stop being so lazy. She seems unauthentic because of her insecurities. I agree. I think she might be a nice person, but you don't want to have her as an enemy. We don't know. Oops, sorry. We don't know her. I don't want to be prejudiced against people. Yeah, or judgmental maybe as well. I get bad vibes from her. Sorry, Karen. I think I'm judging. I'll go with subtitle films because dubbed sometimes feels weird, especially when the mouth movement doesn't suit. Yeah, if it's not synchronized and it's like, he goes to the store. Like that. Totally. It's so weird. I think the Turkish drama is booming since 2007 and dubbed. You go for the dubbed version, Mohammed. Different voice ruins cool actors' images. Yeah, that's true too. It's always interesting to hear the original person's voice. Definitely. I don't watch TV anymore because I threw it up. I mean, I think you mean I threw it out. Threw it up means like when it comes out of your mouth. I think threw it out. I think you mean that. TV kills my time. When I was in the USA, I was practicing English by watching TV dramas with English captions. Gotcha. Carmen, maybe she should show respect to the 100-aged tradition of the British people. I agree. I agree. You know, if you come into such a situation, it's not easy. You can't expect everyone to bend the rules for you. They're there in place for a reason. German reality TV feels like theater. It's so bad, but American reality TV is my favorite. I love it. I love watching trash TV with my friends. It's so fun. Carmen, I get that. I think that's so much fun when you can watch something like trash TV, reality TV with friends, and you get together and you make a party of it. I threw it out. Yes, Yuki. I hope you didn't throw it up. Yeah, super. You got rid of it, you threw it out. And yeah, so I totally can see the fun in that. But sitting like alone and watching it is like kind of a guilty pleasure. I'm not judging. It's just not my guilty pleasure. It's not something I would want to do. All right, moving on. We've talked about that. Let's move on to another poll question. Get your opinion about something here. What are we getting an opinion about? About changing our opinions, because that happens too, right? Sometimes we have strong opinions about something and then that changes. And so I want to hear about when you've changed your opinion about something. Sorry, I have to find our slide and I need to move my, I think I'm okay. When you've changed your opinion. So, okay. So, changing your opinion. So changing your mind. Here's some options of things you can say. If you have anything you would like to add, please feel free to do so. I've changed my mind. You know what? I've changed my mind. Now I think, or on second thought. This is a really popular one. You think about something and then you say, actually on second thought, and I'm adding some nice filler words. Actually is a nice filler word that kind of just makes it a little bit more, I would say, natural. native speakers would use it in that way. But you could also simply say, on second thought, I think, do, 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 do. I used to believe, but now I feel, So, right, that's another option. Or now that I've thought about it, maybe. Dot, 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 dot. So these are some options when you want to share when you've changed your mind about something. If you want to use any of these in a sentence, or if you can think of any other ones that you might use that sound good to you for when you want to express that you've changed your mind, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, we will slowly move on to our brainstorming, another brainstorming exercise. For those of you who are in countries where it's pretty late, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 more things, and then we are done with our lesson for today. So I will go ahead. And if you want to share something later on, if something comes to mind, please feel free to write it in the comments. I love getting your comments. I know I'm really poor at answering on time, but it doesn't mean that I don't enjoy it, and I'm happy and grateful for them. So go ahead and write what you have to think. It will take me a minute or two, as you know, to get back to you, but it's just a question of running out of time rather than lack of interest. So let's see, brainstorming. Okay. Aha. So we have another brainstorming activity to see about what we think here. Okay. What are some lifestyle related topics that people often have strong opinions about? So what are some lifestyle opinions that you can think about? I'm going to try to think. What do I think? I'm going to say money, like how money should be spent. Some people are big savers, save your money for a rainy day. And some people are like, nah, you only live once, go for it. Some people feel that they need to have tons of cars and things like that. These are lifestyle choices. And some people prefer to just ride a bike. So these are some lifestyle choices where people can have very strong opinions about. And I'm trying to think of some other things. I don't know. I need your help here. So what are some things that people might have a strong opinion about when it comes to lifestyle choices, lifestyle related topics, lifestyle choices? I think in some countries, living together before you get married is people have strong opinions. Some countries, people don't care. It's not a big deal. And sometimes, it's a major deal, like it's a taboo. So let's see, business and fashion, absolutely. So what kinds of, businesses or so? And fashion, lifestyle choices. Can we wear mini skirts? Not wear mini skirts? Stuff like that. Wear our hair covered, not covered. For men, maybe whether you go to the office in a t-shirt and jeans or whether you need to wear a suit. These can be things that people have strong opinions about. So I'm going to pull up our slide where I give you a couple of options to share your opinion on some lifestyle choices. And let me find it. We're looking for slide number 12. All right. And and I need to move myself. Oops, like that. That's better. Okay, so let's see what your opinion is. City versus country, veganism and omnivore diets, respect opinions, people, but not in politics. Okay, putting effort into being healthy. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So tell me what you think about lifestyle choices. Like I said earlier, some people believe in leading a very minimalistic life. Like don't own a lot of things, ride a bike or walk, or some people don't have tons of clothing. They have simple outfits and they change them. So minimalism, when you keep things to a minimal, to very reduced, small number of things. And some people are maximalist. They love maximalism. More is more is more. For minimalism, less is more. Maximalism, more is more. And what is your opinion on minimalism and maximalism? Ooh, Yuki, you have very good ones. Lifestyle choices. I should have used those. Getting married and having children. Those are really hot button topics for many people, for sure. Definitely. Thank you for sharing those. So, what is your opinion on minimalism and maximalism? What can you tell me? Are you more minimalistic? Do you see the value or the importance? Or do you think, it's important for people? I think it's really important for people to choose. If somebody wants to have a bunch of stuff, that's their life. Not for me, but, to each his own. And I wouldn't, yeah, people love to talk about food. That's true. That's very true. So not just the type of food we eat, whether it's vegetarianism, a vegetarian diet, or a carnivore diet, I guess, but also just food in general, spicy, not spicy. I'm more minimalist. I'm more of a minimalist, especially on designs on my own stuff, on my clothing. I prefer monotone colors. Okay. So monotone clothing, minimalistic style. Carmen, I love minimalism, but I'm addicted to fashion. Send help. Yeah, I think I am not the right person to send you help, Carmen. I love fashion as well. So sorry about that. Maybe somebody in the audience can send you some help. I am more minimalistic. Yes. For me, it's weird because I'm sort of like, I love beautiful things. I love to have certain things, but there is such a thing as enough. Like if Peter buys me a new necklace or new earrings, I love it. And I will run around and be like, "Ooh, look at this." And I will love it. And it's totally enough. And if he doesn't buy me something new like that for a year or two, totally fine. But I do enjoy it. I do enjoy getting something pretty. So, Michaela, I am for minimalism. Less is more. Focus on simplicity, clean lines, purposeful living. Okay, so everyone here seems to be minimalistic to a certain degree. What can you tell me about working from home versus an office? In fact, I'm a maximalist, unfortunately. Really, Yuki? Okay, what can you not get enough of? Tell me, what do you like? I am so surprised you're a maximalist. I would not have thought so. All right, love it. We have one person who has a different opinion or a different lifestyle choice, let's say. And so what about working from home versus an office? What can you tell me? What is your take on that? What can you tell me? What are your opinions about that? Working from home versus an office. Oops. I don't know what I've just done. Somehow I got rid. Okay. So let's see. So Karina, I prefer a minimalist lifestyle, one without a heavy backpack to carry. Life is better without so much weight on your shoulders. Yes, I think so. To a certain, I think if you really want to be free, literally own nothing. I mean, if you own a car, if you own a house, if you own art, if you own different things, then if you just want to pack up your bags and leave, you actually can't. And so this is what I tell myself when I'm sad sometimes that I'm poor. I might be poor, but I am free. So that is something to be happy about. Working from home is a dream job for me. Kaluna says it would be peaceful and you can control your time. So you have so control over your schedule. My kitchen is full of kitchen tools, hundreds of cookie cutters, all right? The less you have in your house, the less you have to clean. Good point. Working from home, people are more productive. Okay. So I used to think that I was more productive, but I have this thing that like up until about 1 p.m., I don't know what's going on with me. Like I get on social media. I think I need to be restricted because every morning I wake up and I check my statistics on YouTube and on Instagram, and then I get sucked in to the void. I'm like, ooh, but I actually should be answering people. Now I know what I need to do. Yeah. So anyway, I get sucked into the void. I need to not do that and plan my time better. I am not good in organizing my own time, so home office is not good for me. Okay. All right. So let's move on. I've got another little poll question for you. We are moving on to the last poll question of the day. One more question after that, and a nice idiom that we had earlier today. So a little test to see if everybody still remembers. And let's see, we need slide number 13. Here we go. And I need to hop over to here. So, all right. So, are you ever on the fence about things? So, we had the expression or the idiom on the fence, to be on the fence about something. So, you're not quite sure how you feel about something. You don't have a strong opinion one way or the other. It's to be on the fence. So sometimes, okay, so sometimes you're on the fence about something, and welcome to our conversation. Let's see, all the time, sometimes, rarely, never. I always choose fast. I know how I feel about things. So, what would you say? Are you often on the fence or sometimes on the fence all the time? Carmen, you're saying rarely. Okay, so you have strong opinions pretty quickly. In my office is not far. I prefer working in office so that I can stay away from work at home. Yeah, I get that. A lot of people feel that way, right? Where you can separate work life and home life. That's very difficult. I know that from myself. I work all the time, even on the weekends. And if I didn't have the setup, then for sure. B, sometimes, all right, for Kaluna. C, rarely, strong opinionated person. When I have a couple of when you have a couple of work promotions, it's hard to choose a proper one. Yeah, that's a good thing. That sounds like a good thing to have to choose from. Hitoko, I think working from home is good for myself. I want my family members to work in the office. Yeah, so I get to work at home and everybody needs to leave. I hear you. Like Peter, he has his office away from him. He has an office here next to me, and he has an office at work. And sometimes I'm like, so when are you going to the office? You know, I love the man to death, but sometimes it's good when there's just, this little bit of a break. Miss him, come home. Yay, you're home again. All right. B, sometimes working from home is a great benefit that could be offered to everyone twice a week. Okay. Because maintaining contact with coworkers is also important. And Alessio, I think that's something that you expressed a couple of weeks ago when we talked about work environment, how important it is to stay in contact with teammates and workmates, that is. A, all the time. So Yuki, you're on the fence a lot. I'm trying to think of what my answer would be. I think I'm on the fence a lot. I would say sometimes because quite often I see the different sides of things. For me, it's very rare that something is black or white. I usually see a lot of shades of gray. And so then it's difficult to have a specific opinion about something. So I'm on the fence quite a lot, I think. Yeah. All right. Moving on to our last brainstorming idea. Somebody says something to you. Hold on, I just want to make sure. Okay, nope, that's not it. Hold on, let's see. Aha, this is now the second time. Nope, I think that actually slowly but surely, that's it for today. We have come to the end of our lesson. I'm going to do this ugly little thing here really quickly. If you've had fun with our lesson, welcome. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that one. We're saying goodbye. So let me find the one that's for goodbye. I think this is, there we go. Not that one, this one. If you had fun with this lesson, if you would like to make sure that you don't miss out on future lessons, like this lesson, subscribe to this lesson so that you don't miss out in the future on other topics. I think that next week we're going to talk about sleep. I think that's going to be my topic of the week. I'm pretty sure that that's what I have signed up. If you have any topics that we have not discussed in the last year or two, then let me know, because I always love to hear new ideas for topics. I have done so many of these live streams that I run out of topics. I mean, quite frankly. So if you have anything that we've not covered recently, then then let me know. If you have something, send me a DM. Thank you, Michaela, for joining, and Carmen as well. Wishing you a nice day. It's always wonderful to have all of you around. Thank you for your time, Kaluna and Karina and Michaela and Lorena and Alessio, and I think Terry. Mohammed was here. Yuki was here. Lorena, I think I said to you already. Who else was here? Hitoko and Juan Carlos. And don't want to miss anyone. I think I said Alessio. For everyone who was here, thank you so much for joining. I'm really grateful that you come and spend time with me. Greek mythology. Ooh, that's an interesting, I would learn a lot. Greek mythology. Okay, let me add that to my list. Hold on really quickly. Anybody have any other ideas? Thank you, Carmen. Yes, you always pop up at the end. Carmen in purple, not the other Carmen. Take care to you. Thank you to you. I'm Karina. I love having you here. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you understand me. That's a good thing. Definitely a good thing. All right, I'm going to add to my list Greek mythology. If anybody else has another idea for me, please feel free to share it. I've never done Greek mythology. Actually don't know much about it. Greek mythology. Oops. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Hitoko, and see you then. Oh, actually, I will put up. I will offer a story on Instagram and maybe here too, here and on Instagram stories and in the little membership thing, to see who can possibly love language. Oh, you're good. Thank you. Let me add that one too. I have language learning. Let me add love language to see when you would like to do the quiz, because I have a quiz planned for us that I couldn't do yesterday because I got home too late. So if you would like it on Thursday or on Friday, I can totally do it. I'm flexible on both days. So I will add a story later on today to see when you would like to have. Actually, I should do that now. I will do that now. Anyway, so Instagram, vote for when we should have the quiz. Have a groovy, lovely day. I'm going to go and hang out with my son. So see you folks. Bye.